Hello everybody, welcome back to part 4 of this video series talking about mid-level Ironman goals. In this video series, we're looking at useful and productive goals to aim for while you're progressing through the game as an Ironman. The first few videos of this series will be looking at quests. In the past 3 videos, we have looked at quests that give major unlocks, gear unlocks, and character unlocks. Today is the last video of the series for quest goals. This last video will be looking at quests that give area unlocks. These are probably some of the least exciting quests compared to the quests we looked at in the past 3 videos, but I think it's useful to round off and complete the quest section of the series talking about quests that give you access to new areas in the game. One quest that falls in this category is Plague's End, which unlocks Priftness. Since we already talked about Prif in the first video of the series on major unlocks, we won't be touching on it again. There are 9 items in this list which we will be talking about, each giving you access to a new area in the game. Number 1. Jack of Spades. Jack of Spades unlock Menethos, the Desert City. If you have watched my beginner Ironman guide, this is the first major area that I unlock in that guide. There are some areas in the game which are now outdated. These are areas that used to be very popular because they had useful features. However, as the game gets updated and newer area gets released, the old areas become redundant. Menethos is not one of those areas. During my beginner Ironman guide, Menethos is the first major area that's unlocked. This is for a very good reason. Menethos is very useful for a mid-level Ironman. After all, it is designed to be a mid-level hub. In regards to skilling, the 2 most notable skilling methods in the city is fishing and thieving. You can fish desert souls, catfish, and bellfish in the Ports district. These fishes are great both for fishing and cooking experience, and they are decent food for mid-game combat. You can also thieve marketeers and gullible tourists, which are decent thieving experience for low-level thieving levels, and a great way to get some starting cash on your account. Within Menethos, you also have access to the distraction and diversions like Corrupted Scarabs, which you can do every day for some fast Slayer experience. Number 2. Lost City. Lost City unlocks the fairy city of Xanaris. Xanaris gives you access to the Cosmic Altar, a permanent way to access Poro to catch Implants and Chowder, the Slayer Master whom you will want to use from 75 combat until 90 when you can switch to Summoner. Perhaps the most beneficial perk to unlocking Xanaris is that it will allow you to unlock fairy rings later on once you have done parts of the Fairy Tail questline. Number 3. Ghost Ahoy. While you don't strictly need Ghost Ahoy to access Port Phasmatis, I put this quest here just so you don't have to worry about Ecto tokens for entry. Port Phasmatis isn't very interesting in itself, but the area is involved in many important quests. Although, funnily enough, Port Phasmatis isn't actually a mandatory requirement for any quests. The port has one of the closest furnace to a bank. Completing Ghost Ahoy also gives you the Icthlarin. Icthlarin is one of the earliest one-click teleports you can get you out of trouble. Very useful if you're a hardcore. It also gives you a convenient teleport to the Mauritania farming patch. Number 4. Fremennik Isles. Fremennik Isles unlock the islands of Niesnot and Jatiso. Both islands are relics of a bygone era. Niesnot used to provide decent training methods with the yaks and Arctic pines, but neither are really that useful for an Ironman account now. Number 5. Giant Dwarf. Giant Dwarf unlocks the city of Keldgrim. Keldgrim is a key area for the Dwarf's questline. The Blast Furnace also resides within Keldgrim, another piece of dead content within IS3. To the east of Keldgrim, there is the entrance to the Lava Flow Mine. Unlike the Blast Furnace, Lava Flow Mine is a useful piece of content. You obtain the Mkondo pickaxe from the Lava Flow Mine. The Mkondo pickaxe is a requirement to make the best pickaxe in the game. Obtaining the Mkondo pickaxe should also get you the Golden Mining outfit, which gives you a 6% boost in mining experience. Number 6. Icthlarin's Little Helper. Icthlarin's Little Helper unlocks Suffernum, which gives you access to Pyramid Plunder and the Slayer dungeon. Pyramid Plunder is a bit outdated since Safe Cracking has been released. However, for those that are interested in the Black Ibis thieving set, the Pyramid Plunder still holds some value. Unfortunately, similar to the Slayer dungeon, While useful, both pieces of content requires very high level and will be beyond the immediate reach of a mid-level account. Number 7. Lunar Diplomacy. If you have watched the previous video of the series, you will know that this is now the third time Lunar Diplomacy has been mentioned in this series. Lunar Diplomacy unlocks the Lunar Isle. In this list, there has been some pretty useless area unlocks, but I will say Lunar Isle ranked towards the top of usefulness on this list for an Ironman. Lunar Isle unlocks Baba Yaga's magic shop, which is the only shop that sells astral roots, which is required for all lunar spells. I have briefly touched on how useful some of the lunar spells are in the previous video in the series talking about character unlocks. The Baba Yaga shop is also one of the only magic stores in the game that sells soul runes. Soul runes is another very useful spell as you move towards PvMing, as it is used in the spell vulnerability and incite fear. Speaking of astral runes, you can of course craft astral runes at the astral altar once you have the area unlocked. Finally, Lunar Isle also unlocks livid farming. Angry farming is probably one of the most hated minigames in the game, but the good news is that with the traveling merchant, you can now buy liver points with money, which means you don't actually have to do the minigame anymore. Living farming gets some further spell unlocks to the Lunar spellbook. Number 8. Monkey Madness. Monkey Madness gives you access to a patrol. This used to be a great area for combat training and unlocks the much desired Dragon Scimitar, but neither is used for an Ironman these days. What is still used is the agility training course. Of course, it is also fun to walk around as a monkey every now and again. Maybe that's just me. Number 9. Regicide and Mourning's End Part 1. Regicide gives you access to the Elven Land, and Mourning Ends Part 1 gives you access to Lydia in the Elven Lands. The Elven Land is a terrible place, it is full of traps, and if you are a veteran of the game from the 2000s, this place probably triggers some nightmares for you. In the Elven Lands, you have access to an additional mushroom patch next to the lodestone, which is great for farming Morchella mushrooms for prairie renewals, as there are only 2 mushroom patches in the entire game. Aside from farming, you can also hunt groundwells, which gives groundwell spikes needed for extreme potions. There are also some Animeca rocks for mining. With access to Lydia, it gives you a place to bank your ores from mining Animeca rocks. Within Lydia itself, there isn't much to do, but it does give you access to the Seamstress shop where you can buy dyes. This brings us to the end of the quest unlock list. Many of these quests do not give great rewards, at least compared to the previous videos in the series. However, I think area unlocks are still something to get ticked off the list as they are a requirement for many other quests. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.